But I think the development of full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 6, 3, 2, 9, 7.
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
All right, good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. Let's turn this down. Holy moly. All right, let's try that. All right, good evening, welcome to Troubled Minds. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Testing. This is a special Sunday night stream trying to get all the technology working on the road. Test 1 2. Can you hear me? This is the show, of course, where we talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. You know what those things are? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal. How's it go? Government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, and what is it? Propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. What's up, guys? This is a Sunday night show, and it's going to be brief. We'll see if we get calls and stuff, we'll take them, because thanks to Jay for testing the phone lines, making sure everything's working. Let me turn my noise gate down now that the music is alright. There we go. Should be better. Okay, so I'll probably be a little breathy tonight because all of my actual equipment is kind of not really the best for this, but trying to make this work and do it the best I can, and so here we are. And so what we're doing tonight is I got a little thing I want to talk about, and it's about robots and Skynet, and it's about some news that just hit that's pretty terrifying. Testing 1 2. Testing. Sound check. We don't have a sound check until everybody out there says we sound good. What's up, guys? What's going on? We are doing this live. We are on where we have Ruckfin. We're on YouTube. We are on Periscope. We are on D-Live, and we're just hanging out. And there you go. Jay's got it right. Mic unplugged. Kinda, yeah. Plugged in, sort of. On the road in California with a laptop and a bad attitude. And that's what's going on. So, okay, sweet. Everybody says we sound good. That's what's happening. That's fine. And, yeah, maybe a little bit of Terminator going on. What's up, Axel? Axel's been gone. Axel's back. All right, so that's what's going on tonight. It is a test stream to see if we can actually do a live radio show this week. If not, we'll have a plan B. We'll do something like I'll play like a an actual rerun on Fringe, because I don't, right now it's not working for Fringe for a number of reasons. I'm not going to bore you with technical details, but if I can't figure it out between now and tomorrow at about 7, I'll just play a rerun on Fringe, but then we'll do a stream like this. So we'll actually be live, doing a live stream instead of, right, so we'll have a dual thing going on tomorrow. But I just want to make sure that, yeah, well, you're in Cali. Yep, understand the bad attitude. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right, so that's what's going on tonight. We're just kind of kicking it, having a good time, talking about all the weird things, right? And there's some interesting news that we'll get to in a sec. I just want to make sure that everybody understands what's happening here and why we're doing this on Sunday, and kind of not announcing it. It's because the quality might suck. The quality might suck, but what can you do, right? I have one screen and like 10 things to watch. Anyway, so point being, if you want to be part of the show, we are taking phone calls tonight. If we want to do just a call-in show and everybody is okay with that, we can do that. But I do have something to talk about. So if you want to be part of the show tonight, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. We are not using Discord because we just had a terrible echo test. So unfortunately, we're no, Discord is down for the count tonight. It is not part of the equation, but we do have the phone number working again, thanks to Jay in New York for actually being gracious enough to test the phone line, and that is working. So if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037, and let's rock it, let's roll it. All right, so I was scanning the news. I guess you guys are probably seeing a lot of the news because, well, you've been watching it just like I watch it. And what's up? What's up? I see you guys in the chat. Thanks for showing up. But okay, so we are on location in California and just doing our thing, just with second-rate equipment and a bad attitude, trying to make a show happen. So looking for quality feedback as far as audio feedback and the rest of this. But let's get started, shall we? Phone number is up, Discord is down, and let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick. So there's this particular article that just came out. This was a couple days back, but I think this is important to talk about. There's the actual link. I dropped it in the chat. I will drop it in the Rockfin chat as well. Let's see. Let's go to Rockfin. What's up? I see Derek and I see Ruth over there on Rockfin. How are you guys? And let's see. Let's drop there we go. Drop the link in because I don't have the ability to put the stuff on screen right now because I only have one screen. So anyway, here we go. All right. Audio B rating. All right. That's cool. B rating. B is better than an F. But okay, check this out. Now, this is from the New York Times, and this is pretty nuts. See, you hear me breathe and stuff? Yeah, it's not ideal. But okay, the headline here is this: the scientist and the AI-assisted remote control killing machine. Did you guys hear this? Did you guys see this? Like, what the hell is this? All right, so a subheadline from the New York Times is this: Israeli agents had wanted to kill Iran's top nuclear scientist for years. Then they came up with a way to do it with no operatives present. And like I said, we're talking about Skynet tonight because, well, check this out. This is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. This is the type of stuff that is like a conspiracy tinfoil hat. I told you so. But let's read just a little bit of this from the New York Times, and we're just kicking it, hanging out, doing our thing. And if you guys have heard of this, cool. Love to hear your thoughts on this. If not, then that's cool. Hang tight, and I'll fill you in, and then we'll get to some of this stuff. All right, here we go. So Iran's top nuclear scientist woke up an hour before dawn, as he did most days, to study Islamic philosophy before his day began. That afternoon, he and his wife would leave their vacation home on the Caspian Sea and drive to their country house in Absard, a bucolic town east of Tehran. Is that how you say that? Can I actually get Microsoft Mic on here to correct my poor English, my poor grammar? Let's see if I can make this. We're going to test all the things tonight to make sure. Here we go. Does this work?
That afternoon, he and his wife would leave their vacation home on the Caspian Sea and drive to their country house in Absard, a bucolic town east of Tehran, where they planned to spend the weekend.
Okay, I guess Microsoft Mike has become Microsoft Michelle on the laptop, but I'm okay with that. All right. So Iran's intelligence service had warned him of a possible assassination plot, but the scientist, Mohsen, how do you say this? Fakhrizadeh, Fakhrizadeh, had brushed it off. We're just going to call him Mohsen. You guys can check out the, okay, audio is good. All right, making sure. 702-957-1037. Yeah, Discord echo was horrible. But okay, here we go. So convinced that Mr. I got to be able to say this. Fakhrizadeh. Mr. Fakhrizadeh was leading Iran's efforts to build a nuclear bomb. Israel had wanted to kill him for at least 14 years. But there had been so many threats and plots that he no longer paid them much attention. And despite his prominent position in Iran's military establishment, Mr. Fakhrizadeh wanted to live a normal life. He craved a small domestic pleasures, reading Persian poetry, taking his family to the seashore, going for drives on the countryside, and disregarding the advice of his security team, he often drove his own car to Absard instead of having bodyguards drive him in an armored vehicle. It was a serious breach of security protocol, but he insisted. All right, so now this is where it starts to get crazy. What's up, guys? Test 1, 2. Michelle Mike had the echo. Okay, yeah. So I think if I mute my mic and then play Microsoft Michelle, I should be able to get away with that if we need to do it. Like I said, trying to figure out this on the fly, which is why we're doing this tonight and not tomorrow. What's up, guys? I see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for showing up with us. Special Sunday night edition of Troubled Minds as we talk about more absolute crazy conspiracy type stuff, and that's what's going on. Yeah, that's what we're testing. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do live shows, so stay tuned. So we'll see how this goes tonight. Okay, so anyway, so shortly before noon. Now this is Iran's top nuclear scientist, all right? And so shortly after noon on Friday, November 27th, he slipped behind the wheel of his black Nissan sedan, his wife in the passenger seat beside him, and hit the road. Now this is where it gets crazy, right? Because they got him, but how they got him is terrifying. All right, and this is here's your okay, no echo. Okay, sweet. All right, so since 2004, let's see, hold on, let's just get to the bottom of this. So they've been trying to kill this guy for a very, very long time. Okay, and let's see, this time they were going to try something new after years and years of trying to kill this dude. Iranian agents working for the Mossad had parked a blue Nissan pickup truck on the side of the road connecting Absard to the main highway. The spot was on a slight elevation with a view of approaching vehicles. Hidden beneath tarpaulins and a decoy construction material in the truck bed was a 7.62 millimeter sniper machine gun. There you go, sniper machine gun. Around 1 p.m., the hit team received a signal that Mr. Fakhrizadeh, his wife, and a team of armed guards and escort cars were about to leave for Absard, where many of Iran's elite have second homes and vacation villas. The assassin, a skilled sniper, took up his position, calibrated the gun sights, cocked the weapon, and lightly touched the trigger. Here you go. He was nowhere near Absard, however. He was peering into a computer screen at an undisclosed location more than 1,000 miles away. The entire hit squad had already left Iran. All right, and you see what I'm saying here? So, they have a sniper running maybe through satellites, we'll get to that in a bit here, but an actual 7.62 sniper machine gun is what they're calling this, which doesn't seem to make sense at all, but because they're two different things. But in any case, so he was sniped by somebody more than 1,000 miles away from where the hit took place, and well, yes, of course, remote control. Well, I don't know, what would you call this? It's not really exactly a AI sort of situation, but it is an actual sniper 1,000 miles away using like a joystick, like a video game, to take this dude out. And it happened, right? Again, I'm going to link this if you guys want to check out the article or read the whole thing yourself. As always, I recommend it, and maybe look into some more sources, because, of course, those sources are going to be sketchy, because, well, they always try and politicize everything. But here we go. Let's see. Yeah, there's a test. Okay, everything sounds good. Sweet. Thank you for the feedback, guys. All right, so anyway, so reports of the killing. So this guy was sniped, all right? This top Iranian nuclear scientist was sniped. And the person that sniped him was, again, the machine gun, the sniper rifle, whatever you want to call it, was actually loaded up in the back of this pickup truck and surrounded with a bunch of what appeared to be fake construction type equipment. So it looked innocuous as they drove by. But, yeah, well, this gun had a remote control that was being ran from 1,000 miles out. And so he ended up getting capped as he's doing this. So here we go. So the news reports from Iran that afternoon were confusing, contradictory, and mostly wrong. A team of assassins had waited alongside the road for Mr. Fakhrizadeh to drive by, one report said. Residents heard a big explosion followed by intense machine gun fire, said another. A truck exploded ahead of the car, then 5 or 6 gunmen jumped out of a nearby car and opened fire. And these are all media reports. A social media channel affiliated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps reported an intense gun battle between Mr. Fakhrizadeh's bodyguards and as many as a dozen attackers. Several people were killed, witnesses said. And of course, all of this was wrong. And here we go. One of the most far-fetched accounts emerged a few days later. And here's the article for that, if you guys want to check this out. Yeah, that's right, a killer robot assassination. So if you guys are just popping in, popping out, we're just doing kind of a test to see if we can do a radio show this week. I'm on the road with a laptop and a bad attitude, seeing if we can do Troubled Minds. And so we'll try and do that. I'll try and do like a break at the bottom of the hour. We started right at 8 sharp, so we'll play it like we're on the radio to make sure we can, and make sure all the sounds come through properly. But so yeah, you'll have to excuse the stream. It's not up to par. I have three screens, and that's pretty much it. So there you go. But anyway, so yeah, there's the second article. So let's back to the first one here. But okay, now just as we described, right? So we all know that they've been able to do, like Predator drones from, like somebody in, say, I don't know, Omaha is driving drones in the Middle East and smashing them into certain places with a joystick, right? Very much like a flight simulator of sorts. Well, guess what? Apparently, you can also do it with a machine gun. So here we go, continuing the article here from the New York Times. Several Iranian news organizations reported that the assassin was a killer robot and that the entire operation was conducted by remote control. Yep. These reports directly contradicted the supposedly eyewitness accounts of a gun battle between teams of assassins and bodyguards and reports that some of the assassins had been arrested or killed. Iranians mocked the story as a transparent effort to minimize the embarrassment of the elite security force that failed to protect one of the country's most closely guarded figures. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? This is a little bit crazy. So not only can you use Predator drones to kill people from, half a world away, now they're able to do this with a machine gun mounted in the back of a pickup truck covered by a tarp. Yeah, and so this time it actually was a killer robot, if you can believe that. And yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're dealing with tonight. That's what's on my mind, because this becomes something else entirely, doesn't it? Like in the past, we've talked about these robot dogs, the digi-dogs, right? And, as always, it's like, okay, well, there's, AI, machine learning is still a thing that isn't really well enough equipped to, become Skynet just yet. But what if these digi-dogs or something like this, maybe the Boston Dynamics robots, had a helping hand, and they had a little turret on their shoulder or on their back, and that's right, it was remote controlled by a trained sniper in, I don't know, nowhere, USA. Yeah, right? So then they don't even have to be marksmen, these the digi-dogs or the Boston Dynamics robots or the rest of this. But yeah, right? This is crazy stuff. All right, so this actually was a killer robot. So just for quality control, we are taking your phone calls, and of course, because I love to talk to you guys, please call. Love to hear your thoughts on this so far as we dig into this article and talk about maybe this is a what would you call it? Like a shortcut to Skynet, right? If we can have Skynet and these autonomous robots that are able to move and track GPS and things like this, but they're not really trusted to pull triggers just yet. Well, I think we just found a workaround, didn't we? Yes, indeed we did. Indeed we did. Okay, so there we go. So if you guys want to be part of the show, going to put the phone number up, and we are taking your phone calls tonight. Please call to say hi. Please call to test the phone lines and make sure the recording and everything works properly. And there you go, 702-957-1037. But so we have this hit, the top Iranian nuclear scientist that is taken out by a killer robot, by an actual killer robot, if you can believe that. And that's the weirdness, right? That's the weird part about all this is, like I said, is this the shortcut to a Skynet type of future? Yeah, you tell me. You tell me. If you're just joining us tonight, guys, we are just doing a test stream on Sunday. That's why it's unannounced. I'm on location in California and trying to see if I could do a radio show this week. So we're testing it tonight, and I'm out here in the dark, trying not to disturb the neighbors and everybody else, and doing the thing. So let's go. Let's go to James in Michigan. James, welcome to Troubled Minds, my friend. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. Just thought I'd give you a call just to help out with the test.
Appreciate it, my man.
Of everything.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. Can everybody give us a sound check test on James? So I hear James fine. James hears me fine, I think. And I think we're good there.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right. What about the stream, guys? Test 1, 2? Looking for that. Okay, so what do you think about this, James? Is this the kind of a shortcut to Skynet, like I described? So if you can mount like a gun like this that can be remote controlled through satellites from half a world away, then we don't even need. We've talked about autonomous things being able to make decisions on pulling the trigger on people, right? But you don't have to do that if you have like somebody with a camera and a satellite pulling the trigger for them. Pretty crazy stuff, right?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's you've seen this in excuse me, like sci-fi things, before, I think, different movies and books and games especially, But that's the first I've heard of that as far as publicly released information, in the real world. So yeah, that's pretty scary. That's the thing about a lot of fiction. Yeah, it's interesting in when it's fiction, but when you think about it out in the real world, it becomes a lot more scary.
Yeah, well, it's actually happening. Like, this is the type of thing that if you described this, let's say, 6 weeks ago, before this ever even had a hint of coming out and being released to the public, well, they'd say, come on, that's not real. You're nuts. You're a conspiracy theorist, right? But here we are with actual proof of this. So, yeah, I don't know, man. This is a little bit terrifying, if you ask me. Let's see. Yeah. So I don't know. We're gonna dig into this a little bit more, but anything else? Any other takes on this?
Well, it just makes me think of, almost what the implications would be for more like stealthy killings, or even not necessarily even killing. I mean, if you put some kind of a tranquilizer or poison in a device and have that remote fired from somewhere, you don't even need a big gun with that if the person's close enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's
exactly.
scary too.
Yeah, all of this is pretty nuts. So let's see. Derek says this, and he's right. Non-local AI exterminations. What's up, Derek? The Night Stalker. And that's a good way to put this. And it's terrifying because you could hide this gun pretty much anywhere. And then that means some sniper in whoever the hell with attached to a satellite uplink to this thing is able to just pull the trigger whenever the hell they want, man. And that is just horrific. Yeah, man. Yeah, nuts stuff. Nutty stuff. So test 1, 2, just doing our thing and finding out if this is going to work this week. And I appreciate you calling, my friend. Anything else while we got you on?
No, that was it. Just wanted to help out if I can, and but you know that you sound fine. I know it's different when it's not where you used to, but you do sound fine.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate the feedback. Appreciate the call. Thanks for listening, James. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Take care.
Thank you. You too. There we go. We're testing the phone lines. James, first caller. Appreciate that. Got a couple more calls we're going to go to. 702-957-1037. We're talking about this assassination attempt. Actually, it was successful. And so they assassinated the top Iranian nuclear scientist with a machine gun attached to the back of a truck, a satellite uplink, and somebody 1,000 miles away aiming and pulling the trigger. So yeah, that's what's on my mind tonight. Horrifying. Like I said, think of it in terms of Skynet with a sniper right? And a satellite uplink sniper attached to its back. This is terrifying. Let's go to looks like anonymous in Texas. What's up, my friend? How you doing?
Hey, so I was calling in, checking your phone lines, making sure it worked. You know, you're angry, you're in California, I don't blame you. Gas is probably stupid expensive.
Yes, it is.
Your whole thing about, you know, the robots and Raytheon and all those people, it reminds me of a TV show, War of the Worlds, where, you know, something happened and, like, these robot dogs, like, were killing everybody and you couldn't harm them. And if you did, it didn't matter. It was just a machine. Kind of ironic. They foreshadowed it and then it happened.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing, right? Is if we continue to look at this like through the conspiracy lens, like we've been talking about this type of stuff forever, it's like, okay, well, here it is. It's in your face. Like I said, they've been foreshadowing it. We've been hinting that this type of thing is possible, but now we're seeing it's not just drone strikes. It's, well, you could be hiding a machine gun on the side of the road anywhere in the world, and rat-tat-tat, there's your assassination, right? This is bad, man.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've hinted to it before, mostly in chat. I never called in and talked about it. But there was a time I was sitting in Aberdeen training area, you know, where they do elite things with elite stuff. They had B-size drones that were AI and could pick out said things based off scenarios put inside of them. And they had C4 strapped inside of them. Well, C4 doesn't seem like that much, but you take something the size of a bee that's, you know, 50% body weight C4 and it's pinpointed somewhere. Like, the technology, which is really out there versus what they're telling us, is two different things. I mean, they released the stealth bomber in the first Desert Storm. That was actually developed and was in use since the 70s, and it didn't come out until the 90s. And that was 20 years difference. Well, 20 years ago, we were walking around with a pager and a payphone to call somebody. And look where we are now. You can talk to anybody in the world 20 years later in a split second.
Yeah.
So if you do that math the same way with technology that they have, I mean, imagine how far they are 20 years from now.
Exactly.
20 years from now is actually today.
It is today. And so, and especially in a military capacity, this is what they're using, and they're not telling us it exists until word gets out like this. I'm sure they didn't want this to get out, but, well, here we are. Here we are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole conspiracy fact, like conspiracy theories have gotten so old because they're all true. Like, people like us have been warning about them controlling the weather. And just recently, in Dubai, it was too hot. They went up and sent drones into the sky and created rain. I mean, conspiracy fact.
Yeah, exactly. Except when you bring it up, right? You're the nutter. We're the nutters for knowing this.
Yeah. We're the nutcase. We're the ones with the tinfoil hat. But with 5G, don't wear tinfoil because microwave, tinfoil, aluminum, it doesn't work.
It does not work.
It'll fry your brain.
Exactly there.
I mean, I'm laughing about it, but it's actually, 5G is microwave technology. So, yeah, they crank it up. It could be a bad thing. So.
Yeah, it could be a very bad thing. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Any other takes on this? So this is one of the, again, right? Like we've known these Predator drones are flying around in the Middle East, and then they're controlled by somebody in wherever the hell this is going on, somewhere in the continental United States, half a world away, literally. But now we're talking about like non-local exterminations, AI exterminations, like Derek described the Night Stalker there. But so it's not just with a Predator drone. Now it's machine guns. We're talking about small arms fire, a 7.62 round that they're able to just light up a car.
The technology is already there. Like 5 years ago, you could hook up your phone to your said gun with the scope and shoot it via iPhone, via Android. That was 5 years ago, and that's in the States, you can look it up, it's true. You can control your gun via your phone, via Wi-Fi, and look through your phone right now today. And you can buy it today if you got the money. So, I mean, if we could buy that in the States legally, like I said, they're 20 years ahead of us.
Yeah,
That's
easily.
5 years ago.
Easily, exactly. And this is the type of stuff that's frightening, right? That, like, who knows what's next? What is that next step? Like you said, if this was 20 years ago, they're doing it now and it's just being released to the public. What the hell's actually going on? This is nuts, man. This is nuts. Fantastic stuff. We got to go, man. I'm going to take a break. We're going to try and keep this on a radio schedule. If you want to call back a little bit later, you're more than welcome to.
First hour?
Yeah, first hour.
First hour. It's got to be short and sweet.
Okay.
Love you, brother.
Appreciate it, my brother. Thanks for the call. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
All right, later.
All right, there you go. So, okay. So we got a call. We're going to take this in just a sec. Actually, let's take this phone call because we don't have a radio clock. So we're going to take a break. I want to test bumper music and all the other stuff like we are on the radio. So let's go to this next phone call. Thanks for the phone call there. That was Jay Winch, actually. And let's go. Let's do this. What's up? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Barry.
What's up, Barry? How are you? Welcome to the show.
So we're basically in the third hour because we're not in the radio, correct?
Correct. Fire away, sir.
All right. No, this is my last name is McCockiner. Barry McCockiner.
Oh, nice. Okay, Barry McCockiner. A pleasure to talk to you. What's on your mind tonight, my friend?
So we were talking about remote operated 50 cal. Actually, you were talking about 7.62 by 39 remote operated weapons, correct?
Correct.
We've had that forever. It's called CROWS, Commonly Remote Operated Weapons Station. We've had that forever. So when I was in the military, we did that on 50 cal, but we were on station. So meaning we were on a boat and we used like a joystick and controlled it on the boat, but we had a screen that had thermal vision and everything else. This is not new technology.
Okay. Correct. Let me ask you a question though. So it's not new, meaning if it's mounted on some military vessel, but we're talking about mounting one to the like a jalopy pickup truck on the side of the road somewhere in wherever the hell it is in the world, right? This is what I'm saying. So it seems to me that, sure, maybe this has been around on in military applications, but being able to just mount one of these suckers up on the side of the road with a tarp, that's been around?
Same technology, different mount system.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
It really just all has to do with what the government wants to do to be dirty. I mean, we have the Geneva Convention, which we're the only people who abide by that. So whenever we're willing to get a little dirty and do it on the tarp and kind of hide it, I mean, this is not new technology at all.
Okay.
Whenever I called in, I was referring to our drone strike where the Pentagon came out and said that we completely missed, which we all knew that whenever they said they killed the people who killed the 13 people, that planned it.
Yep.
We all know it was crazy because they didn't come out. They didn't say the names,
ISIS-K.
Right. Special K bar, whatever. But we have, whenever we kill somebody, Bin Laden, Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, I mean, Arafat, I mean, you name it. They're very proud of it. They would not admit that shit. I mean, shoot. But we're in the third hour, so shit. You sound good.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. You're totally good. So this doesn't surprise you at all. This has been a thing, and you think that they're just maybe ratcheting it up a notch to get a high-profile target and playing dirty on the side of the road.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So color me uneducated in the ways of military assassinations, but I'm surprised by this. I'm definitely surprised. But
I'm actually by it too. Hold on. I'm actually really surprised by it too because we played so clean by the rules that to me it feels a little like it's like a guilty conscience whenever they do this. Like, ooh, something's not right here, even though it's the same technology that we had built on a jalopy.
Gotcha. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. They just they did one step more toward the dirty, so they can just throw a tarp over anything now, and They've got a fully autonomous killing machine. Well, not autonomous. It's remote controlled through satellite. That's the craziest part here, right? And I don't know. Like I said, So follow me down this rabbit hole just for a second. So the thing that it terrifies me a little bit: do we have these digidogs deployed, kind of like the New York PD has, and maybe with these guns like mounted on their back or something like this, right? Very similar, with a sniper running it from Omaha, Nebraska. Like, is that happening out there, you think?
Yes, 100%. Do we have falsified protests that are happening on September 18th where all the Fed boys are out there and the only person that gets arrested is somebody who is associated with the federal government?
I saw that. I saw that. Because he had a firearm.
He had a firearm in Washington, D.C., which Cario, the Proud Boy guy,
right?
He got arrested for having a 30-round magazine, which is legal. It is a constitutional right in most states, but he had no ammunition, no firearm, and he burned the Black Lives Matter flag. This is both First Amendment and Second Amendment infringement cases. I'm not surprised by anything that the government does right now because there's no rules. There's no limits to anything. Everything is a conspiracy. And, I mean, just open your eyes. I mean, you're opening your eyes to this situation, but like you open your eyes here domestically and you're going to see the same thing. Justice for January 6th. We had, 40 protesters? I mean, it was a small-ass protest. I mean, there's pictures all over of people that are grooming standards, clean cut. They're not Trump supporters or whatever. The right-wing conspiracy with the beards and, the white supremacy guys. But
with the buffalo head hats.
Those are the cute guys. I don't agree with the lizard people stuff, but there's so much going on. So nothing surprises me right now. For people to be bending and breaking the rules, this isn't out of our technology range. This is not the typical conversation that we usually have about foreign technology or anything. This is very accomplishable by our government. And it's really not even scary. It's just kind of like eye-opening.
Well, as always, right, the question becomes, what's the next step of this? And where do we go from here? Because, like you said, if you're surprised that they've maybe kind of done it and the next level of dirty, what's the next further step of dirty to kind of layer onto this? That's what, again, right, as always, we're troubled minds here trying to look ahead of take the data we get, even if it's public or not, and then just go from there and try and extrapolate what the next step of dirty will be. You got a prediction to make?
I'm going to cut you off. You cut me off because I want to say that, what do you think about, I actually had a real question for you, Mike.
Sure.
What do you think about us ganging up with England and Australia to empower them to have nuclear submarines, which, they have been in conflict with China, but not giving them nuclear weapons?
Allowing them to have their own nukes, you mean?
No. So, us, England, and Australia came to an agreement where Australia is allowed to have nuclear submarines without nuclear weapons. Australia is currently in heated conflict with South China Sea and a lot of things with China. This was kind of a power move for us against China.
Okay,
if you haven't looked into it,
I haven't.
Please look into it.
Okay.
We will. We can have this conversation another time if you're not there yet. It's unfolding.
I saw a little bit about it, but I don't know enough about it to comment. Again, like I said, I'm on the road, so I don't really have the time to look at the news like I normally do. But I will. It's on the docket. We will discuss this and catch up to this.
Okay, because I think that's a lot bigger than a lot of things that are going on, like us getting with Australia, who I think me and you are on the same page with Australia. We don't want to have anything to do with the same regulations that Australia has.
No, hell no.
I live in Florida. We don't have the same regulations you do, but I would take your regulations over Australia. And the same thing as England. England's a piece of shit, a piece of doo-doo too.
You're good.
We're only in the second hour. I'm just practicing for when we're...
Thank you. I appreciate you caring.
My name is...
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So I will put that on the docket. If we don't do it this week, we'll do it on the news show for sure and do an extended portion to talk about that. I got to look into it first, but thank you. I appreciate the heads up. And there are important things going on in the world, and that's why we do this, to kind of get together and talk about them. So thank you so much for listening, my friend. Thanks for not being an actual troll. I saw you in the chat. I thought you were a troll. Apparently you're not. So I'm with you.
I've been once, but I'm not actually a troll. I think you picked up on that.
Yeah, well,
I'm just a troll. I like picking on tinfoil hat guys, but I'm a tinfoil hat guy, just picking on tinfoil hat guys.
Gotcha. All right, fair enough. We're big boys. We got big boy britches. We can take a little bit of trolling. I appreciate you listening, my friend. I appreciate the call. Anything else while we got you on?
No, that's it. Thanks, Mike.
You're the best. Have a good night. That's Barry McCockiner. He just wanted me to say it. He just wanted me to say it. So I said it. There you go. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We're taking your phone calls tonight. Again, this is an impromptu show. We're talking about this autonomous AI extermination. Not autonomous. Remote controlled, actually. So we're talking about that and some other things and whatever you want to talk about. You guys know how this show is. But like I said, I'm a little concerned that this is the kind of a step, a helping hand to Skynet, where it's not autonomous weapons killing people, but it's autonomous, let's say, drones or whatever being aimed by people in 1,000 miles away. Yeah, terrible stuff. So what we're going to do is, pleasure to meet you, Barry. Thanks for the call. And we're going to take a quick break just to test the bumper music and stuff to make sure we're radio tight. And that's what we're going to do. So this is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange, and here we go. We're going to play this, and let's play it full bore, full volume. And taking your phone calls tonight. You want to be part of the show? 702-957-1037. You can join the Discord at troubledminds.org, which is not working tonight because of the on location and all the rest of that. And that's what's up. So don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds in just a minute or two. Going to make sure we do make sure all this works. So hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're talking about remote-controlled, AI-assisted exterminations. Shout out to Derek for that description. And what in the world is going on? How's my volume on the bumper music? Seems a little loud in my headphones, but what can you do? So we're talking about that tonight and whatever else you want to talk about. You guys know how this goes. We're kind of an open-ended show, taking phone calls and discussing all the things that give you a troubled mind. So if you want to be part of it, 702-957-1037, just kind of testing out the phone lines and making sure we're good to go here and for the rest of the week. So that's what's happening. If it depends on the quality of this show. If we can play out the week and do 5 shows on the road. So, like I said, I'm in California, outside, and just got a Wi-Fi connection, and a laptop, and a bad attitude. So, here we go, doing our thing. 702-957-1037. And is this like I described? So, we're talking about this particular article that just came out from the New York Times. And so, Barry called in. Thank you, Barry, for the call. Appreciate that. and described something known as the CROWS system, CROWS. So I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to look into that and see what's going on there. But I think the thing is that, being not of a military background myself, a lot of this stuff does surprise me. It does, especially not just the technicality of it, of pulling off an assassination like this, where, again, so just to brief you, if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about, a top Iranian nuclear scientist was assassinated by a machine gun that was mounted in a pickup truck on the side of the road, right, with a bunch of phony construction stuff to make it look innocuous. But what happened is this machine gun itself with 7.62 ammo actually was remote controlled by somebody 1,000 miles away. And so they assassinated this guy, and it was literally just they lit this dude up, and so all kinds of different media reports came out of a firefight and multiple casualties and all the rest of this. But it is not exactly what's going on here. It was really an AI-assisted automated thing with an actual gunner at the helm of the joystick 1,000 miles from where the assassination happened. And that's crazy, right? Once you start, like I said, we've talked about Boston Dynamics, and we've talked about those DigiDogs and some of this stuff, right? And the problem becomes when you're talking about AI, machine learning, this type of thing. And the conversation kind of goes to Isaac Asimov and the 3 laws of robotics, right? Which, of course, are, you shouldn't be harming humans. Robots shouldn't have that autonomy to make those types of decisions. And so where my mind went with this is that, okay, wait a minute. So if we have these DigiDogs with these, maybe little turrets mounted on their backs, then the dog itself isn't even making the decision to pull the trigger. So the person is, the people are. They're, kind of 1,000 miles away, or even half a world away in some cases, like they do with the Predator drones and the strikes in, Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and everywhere else. Sorry, not Saudi Arabia. God forbid they drone strike Saudi. But, Syria is what I meant to say. But you get what I'm saying, right? So this is a little bit strange here, and it does take the next step to Skynet. Meaning that, okay, so we have a problem we don't want to give. Recently, actually, there was an example of this where they had a runaway killer drone that kind of went after, it just spurged out and attacked somebody. All right, it was an attack drone, but it's supposed to be, have a human hand give it the okay to make the kill. But it spurged out, the AI freaked and went after somebody, and they didn't want it to. So that's what we're talking about tonight. I don't know. And, we're doing a test here, making sure that we can broadcast the show on the road and do all the rest of this stuff and take some phone calls. So thank you so much for the phone call test so far. We are taking your phone calls to continue. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. We can't have enough tests because people have different voices, different types of equipment they're calling with. I want to make sure that we get as many calls as possible to test tonight so that we can evaluate what this week's going to look like. I just hate putting out a shitty product. So if it's garbage, if I go back and listen to this and it's garbage, the quality of it, well, we'll just play reruns and take the week off. But so please help test the phone lines. If you have not called in yet, you're welcome. If you have called in yet, you're welcome to call back and talk about this stuff more in length because, well, we're off the radio. It's more just kind of hanging out, shooting the shit with friends. 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange, and let's keep on trucking. All right, let's back to this article now. Interestingly, so they mounted this machine gun in an actual Nissan pickup truck, all right, and just parked it on the side of the road with a bunch of a tarp over it and some phony construction equipment. And they were able to assassinate via remote control 1,000 miles away this Iranian nuclear scientist. Which, right, again, straight from the article here, straight out of a science fiction story of what really happened that afternoon and the events leading up to it, published here for the first time, is based on interviews with American, Israeli, and Iranian officials, including 2 intelligence officials familiar with the details of the planning and execution of the operation, and statements Mr. Fakhrizade's family made to the Iranian news media. The operation's success was the result of many factors. Serious security failures by Iran's Revolutionary Guards, extensive planning and surveillance by the Mossad, and an bordering. Let's see. I don't know what that word is, so I'm not going to read it. But it was also here. This is what I'm saying. So is this not new? But right from the article. But it was also the debut test of a high-tech computerized sharpshooter kitted out with artificial intelligence and multiple camera eyes, operated via satellite and capable of firing 600 rounds a minute. What I'm saying. So they're saying this is new. The debut test of a high-tech computerized sharpshooter. And that's what I'm talking about here. So if this is maybe that's because it's maybe hitting the news cycle for the first time, so they have to feign surprise. Oh, we don't know what this is. This must be brand new. And all the rest of that. So, I don't know. Like, a lot of this kind of it makes me uneasy, right? So, at what point, as they're encroaching more and more on, breaking the rules domestically and abroad, are we, going to have to be wary of, like, some garbage on the side of the road, right? It sounds like that's what's going on here. Like, wait a minute, right? Like, yeah, okay. Barry says not new. All right. Well, so the press is describing this as new. So anyway, we're not going to get into that argument. I believe you. Like I said, I don't have a military background. So, what's up? Ronald says bumper music sounds fine on Rockfin. Appreciate that. And that's what I'm saying. So we're doing that test and all the rest of that. So okay. Looking for your calls tonight. We want to be part of the show. 702-957-1037. Going to read a little bit more from this article. And the thing is, right, like I said, if this is happening here, and so people in the chat are saying it's not new, but if they're calling it new, maybe because it's the first, maybe because they're patting themselves on the back for being the first to report it, or what have you, right? Like, who knows what this really is about, because you never know, right, when you're dealing with the press, because they're lying assholes. We all know this, but I think that's the weirdness, right? So here we go. But unlike the drone, like we were talking about the Predator drones, the robotic machine gun draws no attention in the sky, where a drone can be shot down and can be situated anywhere. Qualities likely to reshape the worlds of security and espionage. And maybe that's what's so alarming about this to me, in my mind, is that you could kind of stash one of these things anywhere. By cover of night, just put some rubbish on the side of the road anywhere, or who knows, like on top of a building, or, that even a helicopter and maybe like really tight security may miss because it looks just like garbage, right? Like, who knows? This is the type of thing that, the increasing dangerous world we live in, right? Regarding sneaky things and technology and the rest of this. So anyway, let's see. More from this article. We're not going to read the entire thing because it's super long. And, the New York Times does a real nice job when they want to, but when they don't want to, well, it's all propaganda all the time. So, again, take this with a grain of salt coming from them. But, here we go. So, this is a souped-up remote-controlled machine gun now joins the combat drone in the arsenal of high-tech weapons for remote targeted killing. But unlike a drone, so it draws no attention, like we said, and I don't know, they're calling this a debut, a tested thing. But I don't know. So in 2018, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a news conference to show off documents the Mossad had stolen from Iran's nuclear archives. You remember that? This was a big deal when it happened. So arguing that they proved that Iran still had an active nuclear weapons program, he mentioned Mr. Fakhrizadeh by name several times. He said, quote, "Remember that name, Fakhrizadeh." And, now this is the craziest part, right? He was hinting at it, that they were going to get this guy. And so the American officials, this is straight from the article, briefed about the assassination plan in Washington supported it, according to an official who was present at the meeting. What's up, guys? Sound check 1, 2. This is a special Sunday night stream of Troubled Minds. Just kind of doing a sound check, because I'm in California. I don't have any of my normal equipment. I'm on some crappy gaming headset and a laptop. So just testing everything to make sure this works. And if we have a quality product, we'll do some streams this week. If not, well, we will not. So, all right, what's up? Jace is still good. I appreciate it. I'm a little breathy, but sometimes I am. Anyway, let's see. Barry says, please don't play surprised. Me? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe the ingenuity of this is a little bit Yeah, a little bit crazy. What's up? You can call me Michelle Strange. What's up, lazy guy? I see you guys in the chat. Okay. Anyway, so no. Am I surprised that this is the type of hits that they're planning? No. This is the point, right? This kind of validates all, like not maybe not all, but a lot of the conspiracy speculation of what lengths these governments are going to take people out, right? And so very much like Jay Winch said, like Barry said when he called in, is that we live in this world now where the setups it's domestic, it's international, it's everywhere, and so right, they're trying to again, like the thing that concerns me the most about this is again, right, like trying to paint a whole demographic as a terrorist, right? As a terrorist in domestic terrorist, and that's what this is about. That's what this is about to me. And what's up, David? So far so good. You sound quite good on YouTube. Nice. Looking for some feedback, guys. James still sounds fine. Still good. All right. I'm a little surprised that this headset actually sounds as good as it does, because kind of crappy. But what can you do, right? I wasn't going to spend a ton of money, but I bought a little headset, and it's not terrible. There you go. Jay Winch says, if the Alphabet Gang want you dead, you are. And I think that's part of the problem here, is that not only that, we have a political will that's trying to not just... they're trying to create terrorists, right? By kind of first finding political dissidents and these things. And I mean, political dissidents, we know this, guys. It's like, when you're talking about this... it's very much how would you say it, it's not about lefty righty politics at all, right? I think this is the worst part, is that people are so stupid nowadays that they think that their political opponents are the enemy, right? When of course that's absurd, because think about it this way. If you were able to take let's say, you were super politically red or blue. Okay, who cares? I don't care which side, because they're both garbage. But let's say you picked one and you were super that. Now, if you could wave a magic wand and send, your political opponents to a gulag somewhere, what do you think would happen next, right? What do you think would happen next? So clearly, they would just take, whatever side you were on that was victorious, and they would further subdivide that and create another enemy class within the red side or the blue side, you see? And this is what I'm talking about. So when they continue to try and make us into terrorists based on, the fact that we don't want endless wars, the fact that we don't believe that actual, the senators and Congress people should be able to own stocks in Raytheon and, and vote for endless wars constantly, which boosts these stocks forever and keeps them rich and fat. And, like I still want to know where Nancy Pelosi got all her riches from, right? Like, I'm sure that was all just a happy accident, right? She was just a rich business machine, right? Or Mitch McConnell, right? Like, throw them both in the same. Like, we know where it came from. It's just you can't talk about it because, well, then you're that guy, right? You're that guy. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's the thing. Let's see. What's up, Lazy Guy says you could do ASMR with that headset and it would be amazing. Oh yeah, let's see. Let's get close to the mouth. I got a little deep throat. What's up? Hey, what's up, Lazy Guy X? How you doing? I think the problem is it's got a little breathy. It picks up every the plosives. That's what they're called in mic lingo. But anyway, so looking to hear from you guys tonight. What do you think about this? 702-957-1037. Should we be concerned? That's really the question here. And we're doing our thing, hanging out, talking about this assassination that happened on the Iranian nuclear scientist that was basically a machine gun placed on the side of the road, aimed by a person 1,000 miles away. And there we go. So let's go back to Barry. Apparently Barry knows a lot about this. What's up, Barry? Welcome back to the show. How are you, my man?
Hey, I'm terribly sorry about calling back, but
you're good, man.
Something that you just said was red, blue, they both suck. Yes, there are people that are red and blue and both suck, but moral values really kill me. And I live in Florida, and we have two very bad senators here. We have Marco Rubio and we have Rick Scott. Those are our two senators. Are you familiar with them?
Of course. Yep.
Big Pharma, Rick Scott, and Marco Rubio's red flag laws. I'm very big on the Second Amendment.
And a neocon, by the way. But yeah. He's not.
Well,
But go ahead. He's not an
that
actual
too.
conservative, but he says he is.
No. But I actually kind of wanted you to ask me some questions that you have other than the fact, because if people can provide more about this remote thing on the side of the road, please take them. But if you have any other questions about there's so many things that are going on, like in the world right now, that I just kind of want to get out there and have conversations about.
Sure. Well, why don't you tell me then? Apparently, you've got some things you want to say, and that's okay. Or questions you want to ask me, or just tell us. It's fine. That's why we do this, man. That's why, especially a show like this, we're kind of like a loose format, just kind of hanging out, doing our thing. So if you want to tell some people some things they need to be, paying attention to, that's why we do this live, so we can get together and say, hey guys, watch, like keep an eye on this stuff. It might be important soon. So by all means, man.
Well, like the great pedophile Bill O'Reilly said, "Fuck it, we'll do it live." But
fuck it, we'll do it live.
I had to go.
Yeah, go ahead, get
but
him.
Nothing really surprises me anymore. It really shouldn't surprise you anymore. I mean, I a long time ago I told you my story about Nolas Air Force Base and Area 51 and my experience with them. I came on as Ross prior, which was my actual first name. I just recently changed it because potentially going into politics 2026 here locally. So trying to change the image, everything else. But all these things that are coming into play are politics, 100%. We've had this technology is not out of our spectrum of thinking. We've had all this, but we've also had things holding us back. Like I told you earlier, like the Geneva Convention and everything else.
Yeah, well, that's not the only thing. Look at for instance, speaking politics, look at the Paris Climate Accord. We're the only ones who give a shit about it. Everybody else just takes the money, right? They don't abide by that shit either. Like this is part of the issue with, again, global politics, right? Everybody says they run under one flag and say this is the most important thing, but then nobody gives a shit as long as they got the handout, right? Then they'll say next year, oh, by the way, we're making some headway. We just need more money. Yeah, right.
And this is why I actually needed you to piggyback off of, because you speaking on the Paris Climate Accord, you being in California, that asshole governor that just got recalled, and because they're third hour, they're dog shit dumb in California.
Yep.
Revoted him in. Well, this idiot, he had requested by the Biden administration to go to 100% capacity on his natural gas systems, because they're having those rolling blackouts or brownouts out there. Well, they're not doing anything for green energy out there anymore, because now they're running their gas and power plants out at 100%. And then you have companies like Tesla leaving them because of taxes and everything else. Have you looked into that? Governor Newsom requesting to make his gas at 100%, to reboost it up to 100% because they're having the blackouts.
Yeah, it's been ongoing. Like the PG&E out here is corrupt as hell. Pacific Gas and Electric is what they're called, and right, they were even responsible for the fires a year ago. And again, right, you're not allowed to say that because it's supposed to be climate change, but it was their crumbling infrastructure because they've been on the take forever, right? Just raking in the dough, which I think PG&E is Rothschild owned. Am I right? I think that's true. But you see,
it is them. SDG&E. I was in San Diego. I lived there for 7 years when I was in the military. But yeah, Rothschild's owned.
And this is the world we live in. And this is part of the problem, right? Like once you have these corporations and shell corporations and 6 ways from Sunday divided, so nobody knows exactly what's happening. It comes from the same top group of assholes, right? Like this is the issue. This is what we should really be talking about and thinking about, in my opinion, because nobody knows it. Like the media conglomerates, why do you think you're not allowed to say particular things? Because, well, they've cock-blocked it. They've made it so we can't, right? Because they don't want dissension. They don't want people thinking freely. They don't want new political angles. They just want the same tired-ass, cash cow political shit they've been doing forever. Hey, real quick, so Jay Winch wants to hop on a three-way call with you. Can you hang on real quick? I got Daryl on the line. I'm gonna, if you're okay with it, I'm gonna mute you, take Daryl's call, and then I'll get Jay Winch was the guy who called just before you, so he wants to talk to you as well as me. So if you want to hang tight for a few minutes to talk to Daryl, and then we'll put the three of us on. You okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to mute you. Hang tight. We're going to go to Daryl after that, then we'll get Jay Winch on. So hang tight, Barry. We'll get right back to you. Thanks you for being patient and sharing the love here. Let's see. Press the mute button. Make sure this all works. Okay. This is all good because we need to test this stuff to make sure it works this week. So thank you guys for being patient while we figure this stuff out. And we'll be back with Barry and Jay Winch in a sec. But let's go to Daryl in New York. Welcome to the show, Daryl. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Barry's got a lot of things, good points to make. It was a great phone call. I didn't know if he was a troll or not, but he's got a lot of very good information to share.
Daryl.
If we thought yes.
What would make you think
Can
Barry...
you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. What would make you think Barry McCockiner is a troll? What would make you think that? I'm just asking for a friend.
I think that's one of the most clever names I think I've ever heard of.
It's an old internet staple.
A great name. Yeah, bravo. I couldn't imagine he was for real, but there he is,
There he is.
Good thing you didn't hang up. You didn't hang up on him.
Right,
Good
totally,
on you.
Totally. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on this tonight?
Well, I was going to say, if we thought Big Pharma was corrupt and scary, what about the big energy companies? I think we've got a lot to fear. And I think also, if you look at some of the conspiracy thoughts, this whole vaccine was supposed to be made to, give the Middle East AIDS, airborne AIDS, apparently. They wanted to find a way to make an aerosol version of AIDS, so this is what they came up with. Anyway, to do for the Middle East, that's the conspiracy talk. But, I'm not one to talk about that subject, so you didn't hear it from me.
Gotcha.
Right?
Fair enough.
But, I forgot what I wanted to say. Well, I was going to mention one other thing, that the booster got shut down by the FDA, apparently, 16-2, just to change the subject slightly. So that's progressive, except nobody's talking about it. But they had a big conference, and apparently the data didn't show that it was a good idea, especially for young guys in their 30s that are coming down with a lot of heart conditions. So just wanted to bring that up. But I'd love to hear more from Barry.
Gotcha. We're going to go right back to him. The Cockiner.
Cool.
We're just going to call him the Cockiner.
Mr. Cockiner.
Mr. Cockiner. Daryl, you're the best. We're going to go back to Barry. So hang tight for that. We're going to go do a three-way call with Jay Winch. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. I think it's going without a hitch tonight, so we should be able to do shows this week one way or the other. So thank you so much for listening. Thanks for helping us test this, and thanks for caring.
Anytime.
We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, Daryl. Here we go. More Barry McCockiner just for you. Have a good one. All right, here we go. So we got Barry, going to unmute him, and we're going to Jay Winch on the phone. Here we go. All right, so we got Jay Winch and Barry. What's up, guys? What's
Hey, how you doing?
What's up? Welcome back.
So, Barry, ultimate troll name. I'll give you that.
Mr. McCockiner.
Mr. McCockiner.
But also, I would say to the caller, it just got off. Yeah, all your conspiracy theories are conspiracy facts. I was a medic for a long time in the military, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Most of us that listen know, and we'll go back to talking about the whole drone thing and what the show originally started on.
Right, exactly. I think we should start calling Barry here, Senator McCockiner. but go ahead. Go ahead, Barry. Go ahead, Barry. What's up, guys? We got you both on for a reason. It seems like you guys know a lot about this. Now, here's the thing, right? If you guys are ex-military, I encourage you to not share information that would get you in trouble. Just you already know that. I'm just going to reiterate it. But go right ahead, sir.
Well, I will say one thing. I hate to interrupt you, but you never, ever, ever call somebody in the military ex-military unless they're dead.
Gotcha, because it's for life. I thought that was.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a Marine thing.
Prior military. Yeah, no.
I gotta say that you're a Marine.
Yeah, you never call anybody ex-military until they're dead or they're shunned by the military, like Miley should have been colluding with somebody out of San Francisco. But that's a different subject.
Okay, I thought that was just a Marine Corps thing. Color me corrected. Thank you for that. Go right ahead.
Yeah, it's no problem. I'm going to listen, and go ahead, Barry. What do you want to talk about?
Nothing in particular. I wanted to hear your opinion, and I can piggyback off of you. I have nothing in particular to throw into this because said, I do want to run for politics, so I don't want to stick my nose out in things that I don't need to.
Well, my opinion on what? Like the left-right paradigm? Like,
so
if you want an opinion, you go right to a question and I'll answer it.
Well, the reason that I had called back is because of the left-right paradigm. Because, yes, they do both suck in certain situations, but we do have to identify it because we all have our own individual opinions, but we know how it goes with a multi-party system.
Well, multi would mean more than two.
Which we actually have. We have that. Libertarians. We have the business party. I mean, there's the Green Party. There's a ton of other parties that never win.
And the left-right paradigm shuts them down, thanks to mainstream media and everything else. So yes, I agree. I will say about 95% of America and probably 99% of the world want something called true freedom. And what I mean by that, if you want to carry a gun, you can carry a gun. If you want to say, F you, you're a fucking turd. I'm sorry. Well, it's third hour. I can get away with that. I'm sorry.
You're good.
You should be able to. But at the same time, like, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. You're an adult. If I hurt your feelings because I was like, oh, you're a turd, and it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, you're an adult. Like, grow up, brush that shit off, and be an adult about it. But at the same time, like, if you look at any extreme on either side of our left-right paradigm, they're all aligning for one thing, and it ties back to what you're talking about, something you shouldn't say out loud, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bilderberg Group. Like, you shouldn't talk about them because, I mean, like I said earlier,
if they want you gone,
you're gone.
You're gone. Yep.
You're gone.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, if you're going to run for politics, like, I'm going to be 100% honest. Be truthful. Like, hey, your choice is your choice. You want to take a shot? Take a shot. You want to wear a mask? Go ahead. But if that same sentence, if you don't want to wear a mask, don't. If you don't want the shot, don't. That's your choice. I'm trying to tell you what to do.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to run for politics,
Mike, I don't mean to derail this conversation, which it's kind of derailed from the origin. But like, I'm sorry, but if you've ever driven to Florida, whenever you go into Florida, I currently work at Machine Gun America. That is my.
Hey, I'm gonna have to DM you. I need a contact. I live in Texas, man. I need a contact for where you work.
I'm with the freedom. There's not a lot of employees. You can find me if you want to find me. I'll all the people online. But getting back to the situation at hand, I don't think any of us should be surprised. I mean, we've gone through a lot since this show has started with that thing a couple weeks ago with the video footage of that unidentified object that zoomed out of frame and it was 3 frames. Do you remember that, Mike? Where it was some guy filming the mountains and there was a little blip of something flying through the air?
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. But was that the Jimmy Church thing in East
Yeah,
City?
Mike, mute me for a second. I got to pee.
All right. East City Ranch comes to mind with Jimmy Church and his thing, but I don't know. I don't know exactly the one you're talking about, but there's been a lot like that. Yes.
So Jay Winch came on here. I thought he had something to add on or something.
He did, but he just went to take a leak.
I didn't mean to disrupt the conversation of anything, but Mike, if you have any questions of what the topic at hand is going on, I mean, like I said, we sound great tonight, and I don't want to disrupt the conversation and be a troll and kind of go off the rails because different conversations for different nights. You've got many nights to have different conversations.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so like I said, we talked about this before when you called the first time. So what's the next step? What is the next step of this AI-assisted remote control killing machine? So, like I said, if you can mount it on a pickup truck on the side of the road, surely you can mount it on a DigiDog and be using these things in New York City. Am I right? I think that's the thing. That's what's on my mind tonight. That's what made me even talk about this at all. Because it's big deal, another military assassination, right? Done cleverly, big deal. There's probably a ton more that happened that we don't even know how they've happened, right? Like again, we could bring up the Havana syndrome, right? And that microwave weapon or direct energy weapon, that type of thing, whatever's going on with that. But I mean, so who knows what that is? But I'm just saying that the reason I wanted to talk about it is because of the implications of the Skynet sort of situation and Asimov's laws, right? Which I'm sure you're familiar with, where the robots themselves shouldn't be able to make a kill decision on their own. They need a human to kind of interface with that, right?
Correct. And I think
I'm sorry for going off subject.
You're good.
Boston Dynamics is leading the way on that, which you were talking about earlier. Watching them and stuff, it's very fascinating. Well, with the technology of them and having their own independent thoughts and stuff. But currently, with the thing on the side of the road, that was not independent thoughts. But is it possible? Of course, it's possible.
Yeah, well, I think that's the next step.
I will say from the military side, yes, the whole robot thing, the side of a road, and killing people. A certain person/country was putting bombs inside of Iraq and killing Americans via cell phone in 2003.
Yes,
and supposedly they are light years behind us. But I mean, if they're light years behind us, how are they sitting miles away and watching a convoy go by and just call a cell phone? They were doing that in 2003, and they were saying, oh, these are people with no technology. Well, if they had no technology in 2003, 2004, and we're killing American people over there, and we have technology. Everything you're worried about, Mike, is true. And it's way, I've handed around on certain things, and your caller, I'm pretty sure this caller talked about the Crow system.
Yep.
The Crow system is nasty. It can auto-lock and destroy things on its own based off of AI pre-programmed things.
Correct.
What happens if that... Go ahead.
CWIS. You got to throw in CWIS as well. CWIS. That was the craziest thing when I was in the Navy. So when you go on the ship and stuff, the CWIS is what is the last line of defense against missiles. So it auto-locks on heat and everything else and makes the decision to shoot. So you go out there on the smoke deck, you go smoke, and the Sea-Whiz lights up at you and just and aims at you. You get. I challenge everybody to Sea-Whiz, CWIS, Navy Sea-Whiz.
You said Burt Burt. That reminds me of the airplane that's badass, the Warthog. Burt Burt. It shoots thousands of rounds in less than a minute. But yeah, so honestly, Mike, your worries, your fears, it's true. Like, you got a caller on here. He's been there. He's been in the Navy. I've been on the other side. Like, the technology that's released and that we've seen, me and this other caller, is way above what they're showing right now. Just imagine us not having a clearance or a need to know of what's really out there.
Yeah, okay, so, but the thing is this, right? And this is the whole point of bringing up the conversation, is that if they're getting away with this stuff now, just like I keep saying, what is tomorrow, right? And so what kind of reforms need to be done here? Because this is the thing. We don't do this to just fearmonger and say the end of the world is nigh, right? This is not what this show's about. This show's about being aware about things that happen in the world and being like a concerned citizen, but what's that next step? So what kind of reforms are necessary here? And is it even impossible to stop this type of thing? Like you brought up Marco Rubio and these crappy senators, right? Well, guess what? They're all part of the same damn club, and they can give a shit, right? Like, and not only that, how about your guys' take on this? What about like deep state actors that are like briefing them, right? Like guys that have been in the intelligence community, let's say, for
the military complex.
Yeah, for maybe 30 or 40 years, these guys, right? These are the people that are briefing these senators at the highest level that are, they say they're not supposed to be political, but do you believe that for an instant? I don't. Like, you saw what happened to the last red president. He was a moron, sure, but did he deserve the treatment he got? I would say no.
No.
So I think that's part of the problem.
I would say no also.
I mean, he's a moron.
But I will also say, and it goes back to your last caller, he was part of Operation Warp Speed. And how many people that really doesn't need that? Like, I mean, if you're old and you have a weakened immune system, honestly, yeah, you should get something to protect you for it. But me, in my 40s, vitamin A, vitamin C, D, and zinc, like, no, it's a super flu. But at the same time, why are they forcing them? I'm sorry, that's off subject. Let's go back to the subject. I'm sorry. Going back to your last call.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All right, so, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to think about. And again, right, a lot of this stuff is, again, back to personal freedom, about these things being critical.
Can I cut you off, Mike?
Yeah,
let me cut you off. I got to say the next big step is I think that they're going to start using heat. That's how these weapons are usually done. If they're automatically automated, they are on heat signatures. Well, that was the first thing that they said with checking people whenever they're going into places was a heat signature. Do I believe that it's not far out of our spectrum where it's going to come here to the United States and be used against us? I think potentially yes, that they could make some sort of robot that just checks your heat and says, oh, this guy needs a COVID test. That's my concern.
You see.
And that's scary. I know I didn't want to go off subject.
So much that I hold back, and I really just, I kind of want to throw it out at the right time, but I think this whole thing about, I don't think it's so scary that, like, the drone situation, that is the starting point for, whatever, a turret on the back of a truck, which is very, very, very simple technology. I mean, comparatively, than some sort of robot thinking for itself, saying, bram, 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 you need to pull over and we need to take a test on you. And then you go to a quarantine camp or a concentration camp and get a star outside of your house, if you know anything about the stars outside of your house, or something saying that you have the disease or the flu or whatever the heck you want to call it. Sorry, I'm filtering myself because I'm pretending like we're in the second hour, but
we're in the third hour. Go for it.
What you know?
Third hour, go for it. Say it.
whatever you're trying to do. But that's my concern with everything that you're seeing now being unleashed there, being used here. Because we've all seen these, like, remote-controlled turrets. Anybody who was in the military, who had any type of combat situations and stuff, we've all seen stuff where you can remote control some sort of gun. But what it turns into is something that's being used domestically. Like, this is not new technology. Something that says you have a temperature or, ooh, you coughed. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, but the easiest thing to say is temperature.
Yeah, I'm with you. You got a fever.
And just imagine if you lived in Texas and it's November and it's still 85 degrees out, because it happens all the time. And you're outside working and you jump in your vehicle and your vehicle's hot because, you know, it's Texas. And you drive to the store and you go to get in the store and your body temperature's reading like 100 degrees. Well, yeah, it's probably going to happen. You're outside, you're sweating, this, that, and the other. And, oh, shit, now you got to go to a COVID lockup. And the reason I only touch on that, I know it's off subject from what you were talking about, but our neighbors to the north in Canada, if you leave Canada, you come back home, you have to pay for a hotel out of pocket for 14 days and stay in quarantine. And they put you on an ankle bracelet. And if you're not there, you go to jail. Australia, if you're around somebody, that had COVID, they're coming and grabbing you and putting you in a said camp. It's not conspiracy, it's conspiracy fact. It's truth. Like, I mean, it's horrible. But the whole AI thing, it's not conspiracy, it's truth.
Yeah, well, that's all. Yeah.
We are headed to a very dark situation. And what you asked about, what can we do?
What can we do?
And honestly, the amount of power that these said people behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz people, honestly, all we can do is speak, reach out, and be nonviolent and wake people up. Because the second we turn violent, we're done. And anybody we talk to is done. It's over.
Yep. You're creating...
Hey, I agree with you 100%, but thank you for having the conversation with me, Mike. Are you ready to cut this off? I'm good.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good too.
I appreciate you guys calling.
Three-way call. I enjoy it. Keep going with the show. I'm going to be listening.
All right. You guys are the best. Thanks for the call. Let us know, Barry, when you start running for Senate. We'll be behind you, hopefully. Have a good one, guys. All right, there we go. That's Barry, and that's Jay Winch. And I'm getting talked back on myself. All right, so anyway, there we go. We're talking about all kinds of stuff tonight, guys. As you know, like it's kind of important to do these shows where we just have people kind of calling in and talking about things. And this is a good time to do it because again, this is a test stream. We're just doing this from California. I'm on the road, so testing the technology. I'm doing this on a laptop, kind of outside in Wi-Fi, laptop, and a bad attitude, and that's what we're doing. So we're going to do Troubled Minds this week this way if everything works, and it seems like it's working. I appreciate you guys calling in, and that three-way call helps a lot because it's testing some things. You guys can hear each other. So if the only casualty is we have to chop out Discord, so be it. I think we can still do a great show this way because people still know how to use a phone number, right? So there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take another quick break. We're gonna do some. You guys are fine. You guys are fine. The calls were fantastic. All the calls tonight have been super, super good. So don't worry, guys. No need to apologize. It's all good. That's why we do it. Again, like you gotta understand. Like the reason for doing the show this way is for real people to be able to talk to each other, right? And for real people to have a platform to say, hey, look, these things are happening, and I think that people need to know. Like this freedom talk is not, it's not a joke, right? Like look at China, very much like Axel posted in the chat earlier on Discord. If you guys have not joined the Discord, troubledminds.org, click the Discord link, come join. You. Lots of smart people sharing links and ideas over there. But he posted yeah, that's right. So Jay Winch was saying that in Canada they're allowing or they make you spend your own money for 2 weeks of quarantine, right? Hotel room. Well, okay, you prefer the alternative, which is what, China? And they're making international quarantine camps, state-run quarantine camps, right? Like again, it's I laugh, but it's not funny. But this is the type of thing that we've been discussing for a very long time now, right? People have said FEMA camps and this type of thing. Well, what the hell do you think that is? Right? Anyway, so there we go. We're gonna keep on kicking it here, talking about this stuff. I'm gonna take us to a break just to test some bumper music and the rest of this. Make sure everything is good. And there you go. Penny says, "What's up? Everybody follow the Curious Bunny on YouTube, please. Good stuff over there." She says they've been doing that here, Mike, for over a year, like an international quarantine camp. Are you telling me that you beat China to the punch in the UK? That's horrific. The home of the Magna Carta, the once great land. Jesus. All right, here we go. We're gonna do some bumper music, get the hell out of here, and just take a quick break. Like I said, we're just kind of testing everything to make sure we're ready already. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do it. I still have some stuff to figure out because I don't have additional hardware I need. So we'll see. But what we're gonna do is do this, play some music, and say this is Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we're discussing, well, remote-controlled machine guns for assassinations and more. And that's what's on my mind tonight, and the implications. And, of course, we can talk about the Havana Syndrome and the rest of this stuff, but in any case, it's just a sound check, really, and a way to have a conversation with really great people. Thanks for the calls. And we're going to take a quick break. One more time, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. See you, sunny Zacatecas, Mexico. Have a great one. And we're just hanging out, talking about this stuff. And don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds when we come back. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and tonight we're discussing all kinds of things because that's what we do on this show. But the thing that got my mind working on this was specifically this bizarre story about an assassination that happened on Iran's top nuclear scientist with a machine gun, posted in the back of a pickup truck with a tarp thrown over it and some phony construction material littered around it to make it look innocuous enough they would never suspect assassination attempt. Right? And that seems like big whoop, Mike. People get shot all the time. No. This particular machine gun, was used with fired by an individual 1,000 miles away through a satellite uplink, and there you go. That's what's on my mind. That's what started this conversation. But as you know, things kind of go all over the place when you start thinking about these things and talking about these. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening here, and it's okay. That's why we need to talk about this stuff and consider all the possibilities of what's next. And I do like that Barry there brought up what's next is probably maybe predator drones or digidogs with heat signatures that are kind of keeping an eye on people to make sure, you wink wink don't have a fever. And then what happens, right? What happens next? I think that's part of the problem here is that we don't know. And we're left to kind of speculate. And if you follow the media, you follow politics at all, and you really pay attention and don't get caught up in the lefty-righty garbage, you start to realize that the enemy isn't really who they say it is, right? Very 1984 style. The enemy tends to be you and me, right? It tends to be exactly what's happening with them creating a new boogeyman, right? A new version of Osama bin Laden, right? Which is funny, not funny, haha, because all that stuff was tragic and et cetera, so on. I'm not going to get into that, but point being is that if you look at 1984, right, the eternal enemy was Emmanuel Goldstein, was the individual's name, and nobody even knew if he existed anymore in 1984 by George Orwell. But everybody did know for a fact that he was the enemy. He was the face of the enemy, and everybody hated him. And so this is exactly what's happening. It's crazy that here we are considering that, we have George Orwell and 1984, the trope goes a little like this, that, hey, by the way, this wasn't a manual. This was a warning. This 1984 by Orwell was a warning. And instead, here we are, again, labeling the people terrorists. And so anyway, point being, we're kind of all over the place tonight. Like I said, it's kind of a one-off test stream to kind of just do a Sunday night show, get together, test the phone lines. Thank you so much to everybody that called in. Super double thanks to Jay in New York for helping me test the phone lines before we started. Thanks to Jay Winch and Barry for that three-way call, because it does help. Now we know we can do it. And all the rest of that. All the great calls tonight. Appreciate it. But so what's on your mind? Is the next step predator drones in cities, which we've seen, right, for the BLM protests and all the rest of the stuff? There were predator drones in Los Angeles. They were seen in the skies, in domestic skies, right, doing what? Surveillance? What were they doing? What were they doing? They were doing, right, maybe temperature checks, wink, wink, right? Everybody out down there in Australia, are they happy with scanning a barcode to every location they go to? This type of stuff, right? It's like at what point, right, is it like, okay, the thing that people don't seem to understand is once you give everything up, they'll never give it back. That's my concern here. Again, look at the Patriot Act, right? Patriot Act. Very much like the, what would you call it? From 1984, the Ministry of Truth. Right? It's not about truth, is it? It's about the appearance of truth. And so when they create something from the government and call it the Patriot Act, what do you think they're actually trying to do? And then, of course, you get felt up at the airport and had an X-ray of your junk or your nudes sent to other TSA agents and everybody chuckling behind your back. That's security, right? Notice the war in Iraq is over. The war in Afghanistan is over. How come TSA hasn't been dissolved? Anybody know? That's right, because it's part of a Patriot Act, which is perpetual. Which is basically, once they're able to relieve your freedoms once, they will not give it back. And these same damn people will continue to vote it in because it's convenient. It's power to the government. That's why. And here we are again, concerned about our own autonomy, concerned about our own liberty, concerned about an overzealous surveillance state run and led by the federal government and the media who work together. And, well, here we are. We're concerned about it. It makes us dangerous, right? I don't think so. I think that's part of this. I think that's why, again, we need to get together as just real people and kind of throw some ideas out there, because this stuff is not okay. At some point, I say this a lot, some things are just not okay. And so back to the Isaac Asimov, the 3 robotic laws. This is a way around it, is it not? If you've got, so just to change gears and go back to where we started tonight. So if you have these digidogs or these predator drones or whatever's going on with these things, and you have weapons mounted on these things, and then you have, what would you say, a remote control, very much like a video game, thousands of miles away, even half a world away, like we've stated prior, well, then that part of the Isaac Asimov equation where the robots are not allowed to hurt human beings, right? You can throw that out the window, because it's a human being somewhere squeezing the trigger. And you see what I'm saying? That's what's going on here. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, so as we continue, I don't know, like I said, everybody wants, they got some stuff you want to talk about. We're taking your phone calls if you want to talk about this stuff. Or, again, as you know, it's the way it is. It's exhausting thinking about it. It's exhausting trying to be on the tip of the spear when it comes to this type of stuff, to seeing what's going to happen before it happens, right? And we've got a track record. I'm not saying that as some beat my chest and howl at the moon like I'm Nostradamus or something like this. Mike Stradamus is not a thing. You just have to pay close attention, and you see it. You see what's happening. They're doing it in plain sight, right in front of your eyes, right in front of my eyes. You just have to be able to put the things together. I think that's what's happening here. So anyway, as I don't know, like again, so no matter where you stand on this type of stuff, how much freedom are you going to give up for the medical industrial complex, right? How much freedom are you going to give up for the military industrial complex? And then from there, well, do you think they'll ever give it back? Go back, we're on record. Ash and I were talking about this whole COVID thing way back in January of 2020, way before anybody else was. Way before. We were even talking about the lab leak hypothesis, which it's now called, which was okay to talk about then because it wasn't a thing. But then now, then they went for a year where you couldn't talk about it, but then once the mainstream said it was okay, then you could talk about it again. You see what's going on here? We literally put it all to bed by March of 2020. We said then, this will never end, guys. You know why? Because if it did, well, we'd have cured the flu. The common flu, right? But see, it's not just about that. It's about contact tracing. It's about your autonomy. It's about handing over every inch of your freedom to a government that would, not be honest with you. Because all you need to do, not even look very hard to figure it out, that they're not being honest with it. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. And that's where we're at. That's what we're doing tonight. Takes on any of this, love to hear from you guys. One more time, 702-957-1037. I'm Michael Strange. This is Troubled Minds, and we're just hanging out. Sunday night stream, which is one of those, we're just a test. This is kind of a test stream tonight to make sure we can broadcast on the road. Everything seems solid. I think volume seems solid. And we're going to keep on doing this, keep on trucking this week. So stay tuned. I will let you guys know in the Discord. If you have not joined the Discord yet, please do. Troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. It's right there on top, and we'll keep doing this week. What's up, Kane? What's up, Barry? I see you guys there. I think this is a part of the problem. Yeah. So this is more of like more of an open conversation thing. But as you guys know about me, like kind of always is, like kind of keep it ish on topic, and if you derail, just don't derail for too long and too hard, and it's okay because there's lots of things to say, and there's a lot of overlapping situations, right? So there we go. But so that's what we're doing tonight, and that's what we're talking about. Just kind of kicking it out there with some of this autonomous weapons stuff, the weapon systems, but then of course the remote controlled satellite, AI assisted joystick, video game wielding assassin from half a world away. It's pretty horrific. So one more time, 702-957-1037. Let's see. Let's go back to this article real quick and just wind this up, just to get us back to where we started and finish this up. So we got about 15 minutes left. So you guys want to call? The time is now, and let's see. Yeah, a killer robot. An actual killer robot on the side of the road assassinated the top Iranian nuclear scientist. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the bottom of this article and finish this sucker up. All right, so the scientist, blah, 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 blah. That's saying a lot about him. Let's see. Okay. And a lot of this, remember, this was a big deal over the last 4 years. The Iranian nuclear program with the remember the whole nuclear deal, Iran nuclear deal, and that whole bit where Obama did it, Trump repealed it, and then now it's like in limbo. And I think did Biden put it back? But then they've been making nukes the whole time, says Israel. And anyway, so there's a lot here. There's a lot of kind of political garbage going back and forth with this. But here we go. So this is from the article again from the New York Times, and like I said, take it with a grain of salt because we all know the New York Times are basically assholes. So there we go. That's a pretty sweeping accusation to make against a huge organization like that, because I'm sure there are exceptions to the asshole rule, but if you just look at their reporting, I think it's pretty clear. But anyway, so this is what they say. The killer robot profoundly changes the calculus for the Mossad. The organization has a long-standing rule that if there is no rescue, there is no operation, meaning a foolproof plan to get the operatives out safely is essential. Having no agents in the field tips the equation in favor of the operation. But a massive, untested, computerized machine gun presents a string of other problems. The first is how to get the weapon in place. We've talked about that. It is what it is, right? Like, it doesn't seem that hard to me. Like, when you have tons of moving pieces in these countries, it's easy. It's easy to place these things. I think that's part of it. So anyway, it says Israel chose the special model of Belgian-made FM mag machine gun attached to an advanced robotic apparatus, according to an intelligence official familiar with the plot. The official said the system was not unlike the off-the-rack Sentinel-20 manufactured by the Spanish defense contractor Escribano. But the machine gun, the robot, its components and accessories together weigh about a ton. So the equipment was broken down into its smallest possible parts and smuggled into the country piece by piece in various ways, routes and times, then secretly reassembled in Iran. Interestingly, right? Remember the Vegas shooting, one of the most surveilled places in the world, and this dude was able to bring a pallet of weapons and munitions into a hotel room. So, this is what I'm talking about. I think that the challenges there they don't seem to be challenges at all, do they? That's part of the weirdness. So here we go. All right, let's go back to Barry. What's up, Barry? What's on your mind, my friend? Oops. See? I got a little bit of lag. Oh, there we go. What's up, Barry? How you doing, man?
Hey, just saw nobody was calling, but I keep getting informed whenever you keep saying something. So the newest thing that popped up about 2 days ago was the Kyle Rittenhouse testimony that was going on, and the offense, not the defense, was going on saying that they did have drones that were over the sky during the time, and they were using that in their testimony. And that keeps pushing this conversation forward about man-controlled, autonomous drones and machine guns. They're all stepping stones. Like, throwing a gun on top of that drone is not far out of the reach, but it all has to do with the rules. And to kind of further, you keep saying 7.62, but like the FN and the FAL, what you're talking about is 7.62 by 51, which is the equivalent of a 308.
Right.
So it's much larger than your 7.62 by 39, which is AK round.
Right.
So yes, they're using larger rounds in your autonomous thing. So that's obviously one shot kill from the side of the road from a piece of trash. But yeah, I kind of wanted to bring up the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing right now because that was the 17-year-old dude in Kenosha, and they brought it out that the FBI was using drones to track them with heat signatures.
Yeah, so it wasn't just them. There were Predator drones spotted over L.A. during those BLM protests, quote protests, right? Uh, but I think that's part of the problem here is that, and I think isn't there a standing order that says that you're not supposed to use Predator drones domestically? It's
Correct.
something like that. And so instead, right? Instead of
we have the U.S. military has standing orders against. That's why they have the National Guard. That's why they have, because those aren't active duty military soldiers. We're not allowed to do anything domestically unless martial law is called, meaning any of our equipment and everything is not supposed to be used against us.
Exactly. So get back to that. It's a taxpayer-funded thing used against us for. It's not raining down fire on people just yet, right? But what it is, it's surveillance. And of course, right, there was a famous thing in Baltimore too, where they had this drone program happening this past year, and they were tracking people just as they were leaving their house because they had these drones in the air 24 hours a day. And of course, like it caused a huge shit show, and things went to court. And this is what I mean, right? Like at some point, you have to be able to understand what's happening here. And if you don't realize that the surveillance state is about to be locked in for good, once they take it, they don't give it back. And if you don't believe me, go look at the history of income taxes. If you don't believe me, go look at the modern history of the Patriot Act. If you don't believe me, it goes on and on and on. Government is perfect at adding things on and never taking things away. That's what they do. It's part of the game. And this is my concern.
That's 100% true.
It's my concern.
Everything. So that's the same thing that's going on with our Second Amendment right now. With if anybody's paying attention to the Brace situation or anything having to do with what the ATF is doing, they're chipping away at our Second Amendment. But people do not understand, like, oh, well, them doing this type of ban is not that big of a deal because we can do it this way. But getting rights back is much harder and is usually written in blood than taking them away. Taking them away is easy. They're chipping away at it. But I can't think of very many things where rights are given back to us. Like for us here in Florida, with Rick Scott, whenever we had the shooting down here at the school where they and Vegas, in addition with the bump stocks, well, they raised our rifle age from 18 to 21. That never came back. Same thing with smoking. We can't smoke down here in Florida unless we're 21. But once again, we can have a rifle and smoke in the military, but you don't get rights back.
No, they don't come back.
It's not typical. You usually have to fight for that shit, and it's coming down the pipeline where you're seeing all this autonomous shit overseas. And yeah, I mean, realistically, it sounds great on paper. The government's going to say we don't have to put people in harm, but when it comes down the pipeline, the FBI and the people who are allowed to work, the Coast Guard, on United States citizens, it's going to transfer over, and we're in for a real world of hurting whenever, like, we don't have the freedom of choice. So I'm concerned because I'm not a huge fan of the vaccine. I don't care, whatever. I'm comfortable. I'm 35. I have adverse reactions to medications typically, and vaccines. This isn't a typical vaccine. I don't want to, educate your audience about what a vaccine is, but like this does not introduce the virus into you and train your body. It trains receptor. We don't have enough time. I mean, there's so much. You go into the CDC and the FDA. The FDA is the big one about like vape products or smoking products and stuff. How long does it take them to do a clinical trial? And that was my huge gripe with Trump is, Operation Warp Speed. and everything, and getting this approved, and us having this vaccine and everything, and then pushing it. But we're doing things like, I don't feel comfortable, and I'm potentially going to lose my benefits because of my moral values, where, yes, I was in the military and I got everything in the sun pumped into me, you know, anthrax.
Yep.
I've had so many anthrax shots that my arm almost fell off. But once I'm out, I've got these moral values where I want to stand up for the people that they don't want to take that. We don't live in that type of country, my guy, or you know what I'm saying? We don't. That's not the way it is. There's freedom of choice.
Well, there should be.
You're able to make.
There should be. That's the thing, right? Yeah, and that's the argument. It's like everybody's like, well, do your moral duty for the society. Well, hold on though, right? Like, yeah, like you can only say that so long, but before, you know, like you start looking at some of the data and all the rest of this. I don't know. That's another conversation. But hey, Barry, I'm gonna let you go only because you called in a few times, and I have Jay on the line behind you. We got to wrap this up because I'm outside and I'm probably gonna piss the neighbors off. We go any later than this. But you're the best, man. Thank you for helping me test tonight. Thank you for bringing up great points. Thanks for caring. It's an important thing. I appreciate you, my man.
Cool. Just trying to be a filler. Have a good night, bro.
Right on. You too. Thanks a lot. There you go. So we're gonna finish this up because, like I said, I am literally outside in California, on location in California. Appreciate the call, Barry. Appreciate everybody's phone calls tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and trying to make this almost as good as Troubled Minds at Home, because we are on the road and some things we had to take care of out here in California, and a little stir crazy. And I thought, let's see if we can do some streaming on the road. So I guess we're going to be able to do at least streaming. I don't know about Fringe Live because the tech, I don't have the necessary hardware. So I'm going to try and figure that out in Discord tomorrow. If I can't, we'll at least stream like this, kind of like off the radio style. So you guys get some old school Troubled Minds coming at you. So let's go to Jay in New York. Thanks for being patient, my friend. Welcome to the show. How are you? Special thanks to Jay, by the way, for helping us test the phone line to even get started tonight.
No problem, Mike. Anytime. Anything I can do.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was perfect. Really. You sound a little bit different because of the microphone, but it's not bad. You really don't hear the breathing like you were worried about over the YouTube or even on the Roxanne. I checked them both out.
Okay, sweet.
It's pretty good.
Sweet. Pretty good is good enough, I guess.
But yeah, great topic too. Great topic too. Where does it end? Elon Musk wants to put little chips in our heads so we can listen to the radio. What if the guy with this little autonomous machine just says all he has to do is flick the switch?
Flip the switch? What's it all about? Flipping switches.
Walk right up to the thing. Yeah, I'd imagine they've probably been doing that for a while.
Yeah, which part?
The bootleggers and stuff like that, shoestringing and shooting people from, hook it up to the cell phone. You see the videos and stuff like that. The crazy guy who straps his 9mm to the bottom of his drone, flying around with the phone, popping off rounds. It's like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That some redneck can do that.
Or
somebody with a little bit of initiative. You know what I mean? Not anything against rednecks, because
right.
I'm kind of a redneck, Mike.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
Just you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For Christ's sake, the whole way through the war, they were running up there and blowing them up with cell phones.
So everybody understands, redneck does not actually mean racist. Just there you go. It's a different. Anyway.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
See, it's okay. Again, right? You got to watch everything you say. I knew what you meant, but of course, right? People are going to be out there and be like, you said he's a racist. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah. But okay. So
I'm sorry. Mike.
You're okay. You're fine, man. Like you're self-deprecating, and that's part of what we do here. If you can't laugh at yourself, what the hell are we doing? So it's okay. I understood. I just wanted to clarify because some people just can't really have two things be true at the same time, right? So just making clear. But okay, racism is not okay. But okay, carry on, sir.
I think, they've been doing it for probably longer than we think. Like, the senator there's been saying, Senator Cocknier, the stuff that they're telling us about now is probably old news. They probably got something way better, it seemed like an awful lot of effort to, get a truck smuggled into a country and stuff like that. Wouldn't you just fly them with a drone or something? Like the one you were saying they just released today, it has 8 eyes on it or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that still going on. Yep.
Fire it remotely, same thing, smaller, faster. That Luma thing that I put the pictures in the Discord about, the sheriff's department and the state police both had drones in the air flying all over downtown that day, watching all the people down there.
Yep.
Every time there's something big going on in downtown, they have the police department, sheriff's department, state troopers all have their drones up there flying, watching. Usually it's just the college kids hooting and hollering at the bars, but they're in the air. You can see them.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem too. Like I said, as I think part of why we need to talk about this and think about this stuff is because, as you're describing, as I pointed out in Baltimore, in Kenosha, like Barry said, Los Angeles, like once they normalize drones in the sky, that's it, right? I mean, like I said, I've always said that the final piece to the surveillance state is a digital dollar, right? But imagine, so not only we have that, now we've got contact tracing, which is like 1984's wet dream, and then we have drones in the sky and the digital dollar. Like, are you shitting me? Like, literally, you can't do a damn thing without literally being tracked by not just like Facebook and Google and all these assholes, but also on top of that, the federal government. The federal government. Look what they're doing in Australia.
Your bank, your doctor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything.
They say now they want to put transactions over $600 get reported to the IRS.
Is it?
I was reading something about that.
I do know it's already in the banks as part of the Patriot Act, right? I think any deposits.
That's $1,000. It used to be $1,000.
It used to be 10,000. Now it's 1,000, right? Something like that. Yeah. In any case, like.
Well, yeah, and they want to.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Going the wrong way on that.
It's all going the wrong way. That's part of the problem. What's up, Ronald? Still on Rockfin, hanging in there. Still here and enjoying the show. What's up, buddy? Yeah, is it 10,000? Yeah, 10,000. But in any case, right? Like, at what point is it right? Like I understand moving, millions of dollars into a bank account suddenly that had like 58 cents in it, right? Sure, maybe, but shouldn't all the Fourth Amendment stuff apply? Shouldn't there still be, like, I don't know, man. Like I said, like we've been saying, once they take it, they'll never give it back. And so you understand that the war is on us. The war is on us, guys. It is. As much as they want to say it's terrorists and this and that and the other thing and the boogeyman and whatever, blah, blah. It's ISIS K, ISIS J, ISIS Jimmy Jack, the other guy. It's all Emmanuel Goldstein from 1984. Guess who that is? He's a fictitious dude so they can come take it away from you. That's who that is. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, you're on camera everywhere you go. I mean, they're on the street corners. And now they're hooked up to the Wi-Fi routers that are also on the street corners. That, everything on your phone when you walk by and probably gets binged. Your Facebook app is open. It probably gives a little location and what restaurants you're by, so it knows what to show you. I don't know, Mike. That's the more you think about this one, it's like maybe it really did happen in 1984 and he was right all along. It just took us this long to catch up to it. Catch on. We didn't even realize it.
Yeah, he was right. He was right. And Orwell, again, he's not the only one, but 1984 was not supposed to be a playbook for the dystopian future, and yet here we are. We're on the precipice of that digital dollar, right? It's going to happen within 10 years for sure, because they're going to cite 1,000 reasons why, because you can't touch anybody anymore, right? So the digital dollar is going to be like,
it's dirty. You get the COVID.
It's dirty. You get the scabies, right, or whatever it's going to be, whatever the next boogeyman is, the Delta KXY variant. Right. It's never going to end. Like we said, it's never going to end. And right, this is what I'm saying. So at some point we have to realize that we live with this thing, and that's it, or right, we have to give up everything to try and prevent the most horrifying, right? The whatever, I don't know.
Well, we talk about it and, bringing awareness to it. So, I mean, you can spend cash, you can buy stuff at the local guy, keep it out of the corporation's hands. The only way that you would ever, the only way you can fight a fight like that is with the money. It's got to be about the money.
Always.
That's all it is for them. They don't care about the people. They don't care about anything. They don't even care about the properties and stuff like that. They maybe, whatever reason they're interested in. It's about the money. You got to hurt them with the money.
Yep.
Yep.
But that's why these are important things to talk about and important things to think about. You guys know we're going to keep doing this. I got some ideas for some shows this week. They're going to be hopefully hot fire. So if this works, like I said, if we can't do Fringe live, we'll at least do these streams live. I'll just play a rerun on Fringe while we're doing this. That I have that technology because I have a second laptop I can do that with. It's a piece of crap from like 10 years ago, and that's all it can do. But this is a better one. Do this at least. So we'll have shows this week. So that's the most important part here. We're going to be able to get together, talk about stuff. This stuff will hit the podcast feed. So if you're interested and you love this stuff, you know where to find us. Any final thoughts on this as we wrap it up? I can't stay too late because, like I said, I'm outside. Don't want to piss the neighbors off.
Yeah. I don't want you to. That's fine. I mean, we can, close it up. I went and found a quote for you and everything, Mike.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to play.
I don't want to make the neighbors mad at the mother-in-law's house.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm going to play this music for you. Here you go, buddy. You got music playing. What's the J-tro for the evening?
I'm trying. Kind hearts are in the gardens. Kind thoughts are in the roots. Kind words are in the flowers. Kind deeds are in the fruits. Take care of your garden and keep out the weeds. Fill it with sunshine, kind words, and kind deeds. That was one of those Mason things that popped up that I was talking to you and James about the other day.
No kidding.
Yeah. Actually, that might have been the first one. Go back and look now. But,
I like it. I'm a fan. Yeah,
well, now I'm preaching Freemasonry to everybody, I guess.
Don't do that. It's a good quote.
I have to admit where it came from.
That's true. A good quote is a good quote. That's that. All right. Let's wrap this up. This is the deal, guys. Looks like we're going to have Troubled Minds this week. Maybe not on Fringe. Stay tuned. If you have not joined the Discord, troubledminds.org, click the Discord link. Get your ass in here, and let's do it. And, Jay, thanks again for helping me test this. Thanks for being enthusiastic. Thanks for bringing the quote. You were the man.
Have a good night, Mike. Glad it worked out for you. Sounds great. Fantastic show after fantastic show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Have a great night. There we go. We're done. We're finished for the evening. We'll be back, God willing, tomorrow at, let's aim for 7 p.m. Pacific, shall we? The normal time. So there we go. I'll cut the news show out because it's hard to do all this on the road, but I'm doing my best. And hopefully it was good enough. Like I said, God willing, we got tomorrow. So thanks again for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of this. Thanks for all the fantastic phone calls. Thanks for helping me test. And we'll be back tomorrow. You know what to do. Spread the word if you want to help. Sub up on Rockfin. And listen to the podcast feed. Easy ways to help the show. And we're out. We are out. You guys are the best. How's this go? Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours, Have a great night.